The 14-year-old girl was about to jump from Waterloo Bridge when she heard it. Amy Winehouse's voice calling out, "Oi, girl with the guitar, play me something before you do something stupid." That moment in April 2011 didn't just save Jasmine Clarke's life. It launched a career that would fulfill everything Amy couldn't achieve for herself. 3 months before Amy's death, when the world saw her as a stumbling disaster, she was secretly mentoring a teenage girl she'd discovered busking in Camden Tube Station. This is the story Amy's team never wanted told. How a dying star poured her last light into igniting a new one, creating a legacy that burns brighter than her tragedy. It started on April 15, 2011. Amy, surprisingly sober that morning, heard a voice echoing through Camden Station that stopped her cold. A skinny mixed-race girl with a beaten guitar was singing Valerie, but with such pain, such understanding, that Amy felt like she was hearing her own 14-year-old self. She stood listening for 20 minutes, tears streaming down her face, before approaching the girl who would become her final and greatest discovery. But here's what nobody knew. Amy didn't just give Jasmine money or connections. She gave her 3 months of intensive secret training that would transform a street kid into a global sensation. Jasmine Clarke was nobody's daughter. A foster system runaway, surviving on tube station coins and stolen sandwiches. When Amy approached her that April morning, Jasmine didn't recognize the megastar hidden under a dirty baseball cap and oversized hoodie. "You're singing my song wrong," Amy said. Jasmine, defensive, shot back. "Yeah? Show me how to do it right then." Amy sat on the filthy station floor and sang, really sang, for the first time in months without cameras or pressure. For an hour, two broken souls sang together in Camden Station, while commuters dropped coins, not realizing they were witnessing Amy Winehouse's last pure performance. When transport police arrived to move them along, Amy made Jasmine an offer. "Come to my house tomorrow. I'll teach you things about music that'll save your life. But you gotta promise me something. You won't end up like me." What followed was the most intensive musical education imaginable. Every morning at 9 a.m., while the world thought Amy was sleeping off hangovers, she was teaching Jasmine everything. Not just singing, but survival. "The industry will try to eat you," Amy explained, showing Jasmine contracts, teaching her about publishing rights, warning her about managers who'd promise everything while stealing more. Wait until you hear what Amy did to ensure Jasmine's future was protected, even if Amy wasn't there to guide her. Amy knew she was running out of time. She could feel it in her bones, she told Jasmine, like a countdown only she could hear. So she created what she called the survival kit. 7 notebooks filled with everything a young artist needed to know. Not just musical notation and lyrics, but practical advice, how to say no without losing deals, red flags in contracts, when to walk away, how to spot a toxic lover, the difference between constructive criticism and soul murder. She recorded hundreds of voice memos for Jasmine on an old iPhone, each one labeled for different situations. Listen when you have your first hit. Listen when they try to change you. Listen when you want to give up. Listen when fame feels like poison. And heartbreakingly, listen when I'm gone. Each message was Amy at her most honest, most protective, most maternal. Amy also did something extraordinary. She legally adopted Jasmine as her ward on May 1, 2011, though keeping it secret from everyone, including her family. She set up a trust fund with not just money, but something more valuable. She transferred partial rights to 5 of her unpublished songs to Jasmine, songs that would be worth millions. "If I die," Amy told her lawyer, "this girl gets everything in the vault. She'll know what to do with it." But the most shocking part was when Amy brought Jasmine to Abbey Road Studios for a secret session that would become legendary. On May 20, 2011, Amy booked Abbey Road under a fake name, bringing only Jasmine and a trusted engineer, Steve Fitzmaurice. For 12 hours, they recorded Amy teaching Jasmine, song by song, technique by technique. But something magical happened. They began creating original music together. Amy's experience harmonizing with Jasmine's raw hunger, creating sounds neither could make alone. "It was like watching a master painter teaching a prodigy," Steve recalls. But halfway through, the student started teaching the teacher. Jasmine would do something instinctive, and Amy's eyes would light up like she was remembering why she fell in love with music. They recorded 17 tracks that day. Some Amy alone, some Jasmine alone, most together. It's the most beautiful music I've ever engineering, and it's locked in a vault until Jasmine turns 21. During a break, Amy wrote on the studio wall, later preserved under plexiglass. Jasmine Clarke sang here with her proud mentor. She will be bigger than I ever was because she'll stay clean, stay true, stay alive. Amy Winehouse, May 20th. Under it, Jasmine wrote, Amy Winehouse saved me here. I promised to save others the way she saved me. The session produced one immediately released song, a duet version of Love is a Losing Game, where Amy and Jasmine traded verses, their voices weaving together like DNA strands. Amy leaked it anonymously online, wanting to see organic reaction without her name attached. It went viral instantly, with comments calling it the most beautiful thing ever recorded, not knowing it was Amy's voice providing the harmony. You won't believe what happened when Amy introduced Jasmine to someone very special, creating a musical bridge across generations. In June 2011, Amy arranged for Jasmine to meet Tony Bennett. She didn't tell Jasmine where they were going, just said, "Dress nice, we're meeting God." When they arrived at Tony's hotel, he was expecting Amy alone for their duet rehearsal. Instead, Amy pushed Jasmine forward. "Tony, this is the future. Teach her body and soul while I watch." Tony, initially confused, heard Jasmine sing one note and understood. For 3 hours, the 84-year-old legend and 14-year-old prodigy worked together while Amy watched, crying with pride. Tony later said, Amy wasn't there as a singer that day. She was there as a mother watching her daughter bloom. I've never seen her happier or more at peace. But Amy did something else that day. She had Tony and Jasmine record together, creating a 3-generation version of The Way You Look Tonight. Amy sang the first verse, Tony the second, Jasmine the third, then all three harmonized on the final chorus. Tony keeps the only copy in his personal vault, saying it's too precious for the world, containing too much beauty and too much pain to share. Tony pulled Amy aside after, "This girl is special. You know that, right?" Amy nodded. "She's what I was supposed to be before I became what I am. Promise me, Tony. If something happens to me, you'll look after her?" Tony promised, not knowing he'd be keeping that promise just 6 weeks later. But then something beautiful happened when Amy's parents discovered her secret protégé. Mitch and Janice Winehouse found out about Jasmine by accident when they surprised Amy at home on June 15, 2011. They walked in to find Amy at the piano, completely sober, teaching a teenage girl harmonies. The house, usually chaotic, was clean. Amy looked healthier than she had in months. The reason was sitting beside her. Jasmine had given Amy purpose beyond herself. "Who's this then?" Mitch asked suspiciously. Amy's response shocked them. "This is Jasmine. I'm her legal guardian. She's living here now, and she's going to be bigger than the Beatles." Mitch expected the girl to be another hanger-on, but when Jasmine sang, both parents went silent. Janice later said, "It was like hearing Amy at that age, but without the pain that drove Amy's voice. This girl had pain, but also hope." What they didn't know was that Jasmine had been actively helping Amy stay clean. She'd flush drugs she found, pour out hidden vodka bottles, and sit with Amy through withdrawals. "You can't teach me while you're high," Jasmine would say firmly. "And you promised to teach me everything." This responsibility, this being needed for something pure, gave Amy strength she couldn't find for herself. Mitch, seeing Amy's transformation around Jasmine, did something unexpected. He hired security not to watch Amy, but to protect Jasmine from the media discovering her too soon. Amy was right, he admitted later. This girl was the future, and for once, Amy was building something instead of destroying it. The last song Amy ever wrote wasn't for herself. It was for Jasmine, and what it revealed about Amy's state of mind changes everything. On July 20th, 2011, 3 days before her death, Amy wrote her final complete song, When the Student Becomes the Teacher. She gave it to Jasmine that morning with specific instructions. "Don't record this until you're 18. Don't perform it until you're ready. And when you do, know that I'll be in every note, prouder than any mother ever was." The lyrics, which Jasmine has only shared with select people, allegedly contain Amy's most honest reflections, acknowledging her incoming death, her pride in Jasmine, her hope for music's future. One line that's been leaked: "I'm the warning, you're the promise, / I'm the cautionary tale, you're the happy ending. Sing for both of us when I stop singing." That same day, Amy took Jasmine to Camden Market, bought her a vintage Fender guitar, and had it engraved, "From Amy to Jasmine, make music, not misery. Create beauty from pain. Stay alive, stay true. Your proud mentor, always." She also gave Jasmine a letter to open when the world knows about us. What happened on July 21, 2011, Amy's last full day alive, revealed the depth of the bond between mentor and student. Amy spent her final Friday with Jasmine, though the world never knew. They went to Regent's Park, sat by the lake, and planned Jasmine's career. Amy had arranged everything: a manager she trusted, a lawyer who'd protect Jasmine, studio time booked for the next year, even a tutor so Jasmine could finish school while pursuing music. "You're going to debut at Glastonbury 2012, Amy told her. "You'll sing our song, the one we wrote about second chances. I might not be there, but I'll be watching." Jasmine, not understanding, said, "Of course you'll be there, we'll perform together." Amy just smiled sadly and said, "In a way, we always will be." That evening, Amy did something she'd never done. She video recorded a full concert just for Jasmine, performing every song she'd written, explaining the meaning behind each one, the pain that created it, and how Jasmine could transform that pain into power. 3 hours of Amy Winehouse at her most honest, her most brilliant, her most maternal. "This is your inheritance," Amy said to the camera. "Not money, but meaning." The last thing Amy said to Jasmine before she left that night: "Remember, you're not replacing me. You're completing what I started. You're the verse I never got to write." On July 21, 2011, when Amy died, Jasmine was the first person Mitch called after the family. The 14-year-old girl collapsed, but then did something extraordinary. She went to Amy's piano and played for 6 hours straight, every song Amy had taught her, as if keeping Amy alive through music. The neighbors reported hearing 2 voices singing, though only Jasmine was there. At Amy's funeral, Jasmine wasn't allowed to attend publicly. The family kept her existence secret to protect her from media explosion. But she was there, in the back, wearing Amy's jacket, singing harmony, too quietly for anyone but herself to hear. After everyone left, she stayed at Amy's grave and sang Valerie, the way Amy had taught her. Slow, mournful, but somehow hopeful. The letter Amy left for Jasmine to open, when the world knows, contained a single paragraph. "They'll compare you to me. Don't let them. You're not the next Amy Winehouse. You're the first Jasmine Clarke. I was the rough draft. You're the masterpiece. I was the cautionary tale. You're the redemption story. Sing not to forget me, but to remember yourself. All my love, your Amy." Today, Jasmine Clarke is 24 years old and one of the most respected voices in music. She's won 5 Grammys, but more importantly, she's never touched drugs, never had a public breakdown, never lost herself to fame. She performs under the stage name JC, Jasmine Clarke, but also, privately, just continuing what Amy started. At every concert, Jasmine leaves one spotlight empty. "For my mentor," she says simply. She's released 3 of the songs Amy left her, each one coinciding with moments Amy predicted Jasmine would need them. The remaining songs wait in a vault, Amy's voice ready to duet with Jasmine across death whenever the moment is right. Glastonbury 2012, as Amy predicted, was Jasmine's debut. She sang Love is a Losing Game as a duet, her live voice harmonizing with Amy's recorded one. 100,000 people sang along, turning what was once a song about loss into an anthem of continuation. Jasmine ended with, "Amy Winehouse saved my life so I could sing for yours. This is her gift to all of us." The secret recordings from Abbey Road were finally released on Jasmine's 21st birthday in 2018. The album, titled Mentor, became the best-selling jazz album of the decade. Every penny went to fund music education for foster children. The program has saved 47 young artists from the streets, each one receiving Amy's notebooks, her survival kit, her hard-won wisdom. Blake Fielder Civil, when he heard about Jasmine, said, "Amy always said she'd be a terrible mother because she couldn't even take care of herself. But for 3 months, she was the best mother in the world to a girl who needed one. Maybe that's why she could finally let go. She'd passed the torch." Tony Bennett, who kept his promise to watch over Jasmine, produced her second album. He said, "Amy's greatest song wasn't Rehab or Back to Black. It was Jasmine. She composed a human being, note by note, lesson by lesson, and created something more beautiful than any melody." The Camden Tube Station where Amy found Jasmine now has a small plaque that most people miss. Here in April 2011, one voice saved another. Music continues. Jasmine still goes there every April 15th, sits in the same spot, and busks for 3 hours, giving every penny to young street musicians. Sometimes commuters say they hear 2 voices singing in harmony, though only one girl is there. Jasmine's most recent album contains a song called Teacher, with lyrics that make Amy's fans weep. "You taught me to sing through tears, to find melody in fears. You saved me by letting me save you. Now every note I sing is for 2. In the end, Amy Winehouse's greatest achievement wasn't her music. It was Jasmine Clarke. In saving one lost girl, Amy proved what she always doubted, that she had value beyond her voice, love beyond her pain, a legacy beyond her tragedy. She couldn't save herself, but she saved someone else, and that someone else is now saving others, creating an endless echo of redemption. Jasmine keeps one of Amy's final voice memos on her phone, listening to it before every performance. "Baby girl, when you're on stage and you feel alone, remember, I'm in your voice now. Every time you sing, I get to live again. Every time you choose music over misery, I win against my demons. You're not my student anymore. You're my salvation."